Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm at the Natural History Museum in London today, and I'm actually in the Annings rooms. Now these are obviously named after the one and only Mary Anning, who was a British pioneering paleontologist from the late 18th century to mainly the 19th century. So she was born in 1799, so right at the end of the 18th century. And she existed in a time where being female and of a lower class, she really had it against her to actually make any sort of scientific discoveries, but she did it anyway. So she lived in Dorset and she made a living selling fossil remains that she found just off of her house. So she was just hunting along Lyme Regis, and she actually made some really incredible discoveries such as ichthyosaurs, plesiosaurs. She even found a pterosaur. She helped lead to the identification of coprolites. So she made really key discoveries, and you can actually see some of the actual specimens she excavated here at the London History Museum. So they're actually on display in the fossil way. But today I wanted to share some different things that she did. So behind me are actually some of her sketches. Now these aren't of things she's found, these are actually of things she's learned. So she was self-educated and she didn't have much money, so these would have been her own sketches from papers that she got her hands on. So you can see up here we have an ichthyosaur sketch that she did. So she actually copied some illustrations to help her learn about what she was finding. So this is an actual copy she did. So this is a copy of one of her sketches. And you can see very clearly the eye of the ichthyosaur. And this would have been from a scientific paper. And it shows the skull of an extinct marine reptile known as the ichthyosaur. And because she was a working class woman with little formal education, she couldn't afford to buy fancy, expensive scientific literature. So she most likely borrowed and transcribed articles and illustrations like this, so she could use them at her own reference and to learn from. And she did this with other things as well. So here is a sketch she did of belemnites. So this figure was likely from another book or another article she had read, and I think it actually says this one is from Transactions of the Geological Society, Series 2, Volume 2 from 1826. So she would have read that, copied her own version of it, and you can see here all the different kind of cross sections of the belemnites to learn from and to actually understand what she was finding. And that's the difference with Mary Anning. She wasn't just a fossil seller, she actually was educating herself about what she was finding and making really key scientific discoveries rather than just finding and selling. And in fact, when it comes to belemnites and Mary Anning, she was one of the first to recognise that belemnites actually had ink sacs, just like modern day squids, octopuses and cuttlefish. So she would use the education and actually add to it and make presumptions and theories with what she was finding. And here we have a copy of a letter she wrote to William Buckland, who is a paleontologist, and this was written in 1829. And it's about how she had discovered another plesiosaur. So I'm going to try my best to decipher this letter, as it is a little bit hard to read, and it is only a snapshot of the entire letter that she wrote to William Buckland, but it does kind of give you a little bit of insight of what she was up to in real time, so it's quite exciting. So here she wrote, "Are here finely preserved. The vertebrae are in one continued chain until the 12th last of the neck, which are dislocated sternum bones of the pelvis very fine. I have not yet washed it, but from what I can see there will be traces of a skin or shell between the ribs. I found it Thursday the 29th of January and have been ever since getting and picking it, but it is there. I hope of you coming to Lyme again soon. Respectfully your obliged humble servant, Mary Anning." So along with Mary Anning's beautiful sketches, I also wanted to show you some of Alfred Waterhouse's. Now he was actually the architect behind a lot of the really beautiful motifs and terracotta designs of the Natural History Museum building itself. And they're really incredible, and we can actually see some of his graphite pencil drawings. Now I believe these are copies of his originals, but there are hundreds of these that he created. So here we have the sketches that Alfred Waterhouse did, and this one here is of a pterodactylus. And you can see the beautiful detail in his sketches, and it really comes out in the actual terracotta replicas made from these. And here we have a grey heron design he did. Again, the detail is just incredible. And then this is a Paleotherium magnum. Look at that. And the last one they have on display is this beautiful wolf. So Alfred Waterhouse created more than 200 original designs, and he split them into two groups. So there's the living species, for example the wolf here, and then also the extinct species, which on these examples is the Paleotherium magnum. And again, the living species is the heron, and the extinct species is the Pterodactylus over here. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed seeing a little inside of the Anning rooms and some amazing sketches that Mary Anning did, as well as Alfred Waterhouse. I just think it gives a little insight into the history of such an iconic building, but also a little bit into kind of the background of Mary Anning as well. So on my way out, I'll show you the amazing curiosity cabinets that can be seen in the center of the staircase. They really are something spectacular. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.